ambulatory, you had to change it with them in it.
Girl, witchcraft. How'd you do that?
Oh, you would have to roll them. Well, it was a 2-person job.
Okay.
You'd roll them to one side and put on the sheet and then roll them back, and it was tricky.
That is chaotic.
All right. So somewhere into this job,
okay.
and I wasn't there that long, but somewhere into this job, they put me on graveyard shift after school let out. So in the summertime on graveyard shift.
Yeah.
By the way, what an unfortunate name at the old folks' home to call it the graveyard
Girl.
shift. Now, I was probably there a couple weeks when the first person died on my shift, right? And one of the women I was working with was like, okay, well, we need to go get Mrs. Jones all cleaned up for the morgue to come pick her up. And I'm like, what does that entail?
Yeah.
And they're like, well, you just, if she has any tubes or anything, you take them
rip
out.
It out.
Right? You make sure that if they have, shit themselves, you clean them up, whatever.
No thanks.
Although they didn't say it like that, but let's just not mince words. It is what it is.
They don't sound very fun.
And I'm like, I'm 16 and I've been working for exactly 10 minutes and you want me to go deal with the dead lady? And they're like, okay, we'll deal with this one, but the next one on your shift, you're going to have to deal with this as part of the job. Well, the next one on the shift was somebody I happened to know. My mother had worked for them.
Oh my God.
As a housekeeper. So he dies in the middle of graveyard shift. I have to go get him all cleaned up, ready for the morgue. He had a catheter in him and whatever. Nobody warned the girl here that newly dead people make noises.
No, girl, they moaning and groaning.
Right?
They unhappy.
They also can move a little bit.
Girl!
I was...
The outline of my body as I sprinted out.
Right, I looked like a cartoon character, but right through the wall.
Yep.
Miss Frey D. Cat, that was my...
But you're the Kool-Aid man. You're all, ooh, yeah, as you bust through the wall.
Oh my God. So I go and I'm like getting him cleaned up and I take out his catheter. And he honestly goes,
ew. You like that, big guy?
Scream.
You want that again, honey?
All right. But anyway, so that's not even the story I was going to tell you. So the story I was going to tell you was about this woman that I worked with, the nurse on the graveyard shift, Loretta Sly.
She also died.
Now I'm going to say her name because she was 100 then. So if she's still alive, she's easily 150.
The Sly family.
Right.
The family Angley.
Loretta Sly was maybe, with shoes on, maybe 4'10".
Okay, tall.
And had the brightest orange dyed hair. You with me? Yeah. And
I hate it.
She was such a bitch. She would, like, if she went up to one of the patients and said, okay, you have to take your pills, and they're like, no, not going to take my pills. I will call my son. He is a police officer. He'll make you take your pills.
Girl,
she would threaten them, and it was like, you're just a bitch.
Girl, you're abusing your power.
Yeah, always. And she was always yelling at everybody. And I'm like, where did that little itty-bitty body get all that rage?
Girls, because she's not itty-bitty.
So one night,
here's orange.
I'm doing my job, and I was working with this older lady who had been there for a while. And now older, I'm 16, so anything is older.
Right, she's 20.
She was probably in her 40s.
Okay.
Anyhow,
same thing.
We go into this room, and Mr. Jones, everybody is Jones in this story, except Loretta Sly.
Very confusing.
Mr. Jones, he has wet his bed. But in such a way that he's wet, his gown is wet, his bed is everything. So we couldn't just change him in the bed.
No.
We get him up. Mr. Jones can walk.
Okay.
We get him up, put him in a clean gown, put him over here in the chair, and go turn our backs, we're changing the bed. Turn back, he's gone.
No.
Mr. Jones is gone.
Living dolls aren't supposed to move, girl.
Well, so I'm like, maybe he went into the bathroom. He did not. He was gone. And so I opened the door to the hallway, and I looked down the hallway. The hallways, it was 3 hallways that were like, would end kind of in a triangle in the middle of they all ended at the nursing station. Okay, so it was like spokes off of the nursing station. He is behind the desk at the nursing station, pissing all over I didn't know he had anything left in it. He literally is pissing on everything, pissing on the floor, pissing on the chair, pissing on everything. And I couldn't do anything. Because I started laughing so hard. Well, then old Loretta.
Oh, Loretta.
She comes and sees him is screaming at the top of her lungs, steps in the piss, slips, and lands.
No!
Her entire backside of her dress is now covered in piss. And nurses then all wore white. So she is now wearing the yellow.
I hate it. That's why I get Nurse Ratched.
And I couldn't do anything because I am dying.
You are also peeing.
I am a fucking hyena at this point, laughing so hard that I'm crying and snotting and whatever.
And now they need a second wet floor sign for you.
Pretty much. And the lady who was working with me is laughing just as hard. So we knew if we left the room, we were going to be in deep shit.
We're busy.
Because we're now laughing at...
Little lady in the pee.
Yeah.
I love that.
That was the highlight, though. Of that,
you know what? She deserved it.
She did.
I just picture her as like a toad. That's it. Just kidding. With like a Ronald McDonald wig. That's what I picture. And I'm like, Loretta, you've never looked better. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's just what I picture.
Yeah.
Is that accurate?
No. But I like it. I like it.
Okay, well, when I do the rendition of your life, all the stories you've told me, I'm just going to do what I've always thought. Hear me toad people, girl.
I like it. Oh my gosh. I just noticed that we probably need to take a break.
Okay, bye.
Bye. And now we're back. How do you like that? How professional.
I know.
We have music and everything.
Thank you, DJ.
Thank you, Q.
Yeah, very that. Oh, okay, so my story. Oh, what am I going to tell first?
I don't know. Pick one. They're all good.
I know, right? So I've worked a lot of jobs in my little life because I've lived in a lot of places, and also I have impulse control issues. So I'm like, I hate it here.
What?
And I leave. So fun times. So I had moved back to Portland from, I moved back from Los Angeles at this point. I needed a gig, and I decided, I've worked in salons and spas before as like a management or like front desk bitch, you know, whatever. Answering phones, making appointments. That, giggle. Yes, you're so funny.
I just want to see your little name tag that says Annika, front desk bitch.
Yes, ma'am. Of course it said that. But I worked at this place that was like a massage parlor. That sounds sketchy, but it was like you'd buy like a subscription and every month you pay.
Sure.
Right. It was Trashy McTrash, and they're all franchised.
Sure.
And I worked like Southeast Portland, like deep Southeast Portland. And it wasn't like, the clientele wasn't ideal, and neither were the people I had to work with. So that's good times. But it was, lots of times, you know, working in a spa, you get a lot of creepers who are like, hey, I'm going to get naked back there, you know, kind of vibe.
Did you get people there who expected like the happy ending with their massage?
People would joke about it, and it was always men who would joke about it. Like,
who else?
Well, they always needed a woman to massage them because they were afraid that a straight massage, a man who was a masseuse was gonna, I don't know, they're gonna become gay lovers somehow. Yeah. I don't understand. But they always wanted a woman, and they would joke, "Ooh, happy ending," and like inappropriate also. But I would also have to read a statement, being like, "So at this establishment, we do not provide like, you know, whatever to be like legal. We don't provide jerk off service." A lot of creepy people.
That sounds legal.
No jerk-off service for you, punk. That was what I used to say. Meet me out back. No, I'm just kidding. That never happened. But the clientele was creepy. A lot of my, like, massage therapists were also creepy. But the worst of the worst was this woman who was our manager. And again, it's franchise, so there's, like, owners, and then they owned a couple branches of it or whatever. And so they had, like, a district manager, quote, unquote, right? So she just, like, was top dog at all 3 locations. Her name was Sunshine. She was not Sunshine. She was fine, I guess. But this woman who was my manager at my location was an awful, tiny cult member who was also a racist. And that, you know, I assume everyone's racist at all times.
Sure.
But this tiny little pilgrim of a woman actively was racist. And here's my example. So when you walk in to this estab, there's the front desk. There's usually 2 of us sitting there. Mm-hmm. Clickety-clackety, answering phones. What's up, bitch? Take your money. Get out. Right? That's what happened. But to the left, there's an office. All glass windows. It's for manager's office. It's for them to keep an eye. Well, more than once, any person who was more melanated than Casper, the friendliest of ghosts, came into our store and was talking to any of the front desk people, because most people were white there. And most of the front desk people were women. she would always come out and stand behind us and just like stare at the customer. And this one time, she decided to come out, and a black man walked in, and he just wanted to buy a gift certificate. And I was helping him, and she just came out and stood between the two of like the front desk girls behind the counter and just like mugged him the whole time. And I was like, "Okay, well, sir, it's gonna be $100. Thank you so much. Blah blah blah. Here it is. Have a great day. Here's your receipt. Whatever." And then I was like, "Is everything good, crazy white lady? What's wrong?" And she was just like, "Well, you never know what's going to happen with one of them." And I was like, "A man? You're right. Men are awful." And she was like, "No. You know, there's a difference between black people and N-words." And I was like, "Oh no, honey.
I'm sorry, what?
I'm sorry. I'm the wrong kind of white person. You don't get to... Who do you think I am?" So immediately, it was towards the end of my shift, I left. And I came home and I remember talking to you about it. Yeah. And I was like, "Girl, this racist ass bitch." And I went, I was very heated. So I called the quote unquote district manager Sunshine and told her all about it. But again, all these people are white people, so they don't give a fuck. They're like, "Okay, I'll have a talking to with her." So she probably did. But I quit not long after that. And I didn't give a notice or anything because, again, I have impulse control issues. But I also read that bitch for filth. I was in her office. She shut the door. But bitch, I was yelling. I was calling her all kinds of terms and telling her how racist she was, and it was good times. That's my favorite way to quit, by the way. I know it's like,
scene and leave.
Oh, girl, it's like, listen, I understand. I want to be a good person, but if you act in ways that are reprehensible, then I'm going to treat you as such.
If you're a trash bag of a
Girl,
human being,
then I'm going to set you on fire. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I did, and I had to go back to get back like my uniform shirt and get like my last paycheck, and I was just a snatchy snatch to that woman's face.
What?
I know. And here's the thing, I don't know if you know this about me, but I'm real tall comparatively to a lot of people.
Sure. I have noticed.
And she was a dinky, again, frail woman. She was olive oil, but short. You know what I mean? And blonde, so worse. I hate her. She was from Idaho. We're just going to trash on all the states I hate in this podcast. But she was from Idaho, if that says anything. And she was from where? Coeur d'Alene, Idaho. So nothing but white people.
She's from white supremacist side.
Yes, ma'am. So I was like not shocked once I learned that, but girl, I was heated. Oh, God, the wind outside, girl. I heard it. I wanted...
That might be an airplane.
You know what? Nature noises. I wanted to, yeah. If I would have caught that, she could have caught these hands outside. You feel me? But we never got to that.
Well, that's
I quit. And said,
that's
"Fuck
good.
you!" And ran out screaming.
I've never actually, I don't think, I mean, I'd have to really kind of give it some thought. I don't think I've ever actually made a scene when I left a job.
Do you want me to teach you?
I may have. I have to think about it. I mean, I was thinking, it was so funny. I was thinking about a job, but my boss wasn't horrible. She was just stupid. Mm-hmm. She was this kind of older lesbian that I worked for. She bought a bar.
Okay.
She didn't know jack shit about a bar.
Okay, yeah.
She bought a bar specifically so she could pick up women.
Huh.
I mean, honestly. And she was old school, kind of whatever. And I happened to be in there one day with my friend, who was a friend of hers.
Okay.
And she was like, "I just need someone to work the weekends, playing the music." And I was like, "I can do that." And she's like, "You know how to be a DJ?" "Sure, yeah." Of course, I fucking didn't. I'm like, "Well, you know, your equipment will be... Someone will have to show me how to work this equipment." But
I just realized there's a pattern in your life. People are like, "Can you host a show?" You're like, "I've hosted a million, and you've never even
a professional.
Been on a microphone." Now they're like, "Can you be a DJ?" You're all, girl, I am. Call me a DJ, yes, lady.
I'm Doja Cat. No, she's not a DJ. Is she? She's a rapper.
So now you're just making shit.
Wait, who's the? Is it Acid Cat? Well, who cares? Anyway, I'm a DJ. I'm Lindsay Lohan in her later career. But what was funny, so I came in and was playing music, and I would play music that I liked, and I didn't know how to do that blend of, so the music keeps playing and you're not like, next song. But I swear to God, every night she's like, "You need to play more slow songs." Don't nobody want to dance to slow songs in a bar. And she would walk by and go, "You need to turn it down, it's too loud." We're in a bar.
Are you dumb?
This is music. Mm-hmm. But the other thing, I mean, I worked at the Embers for
150 years
ish. One of the things that always cracked me up when I would do my shows is when the owner would be like, "Stop swearing," blah blah blah, and I'm like,